So hey guys, what's going on? Thomas Grabowski here, and if you haven't watched my last video on why do I have acne, I would highly recommend you check that out in the description below. Wow, that was an interesting response. You can check that out below, and we can continue on to part 2. That was kind of part 1 of the series. I'm kind of going in a methodical approach here, so without much ado, let's continue on to the video. So, what is causing inflammation? So in my last video, we talked about building health from the inside out. Very important, but what is causing the inflammation that is causing you to have acne? What is causing inflammation? A very important question to ask. Number 1 would be gluten and wheat products. Now, this is something a lot of people may not want to hear, and it's a very difficult thing to do, and this is why I've created the Acne Clear Chef, because all of my recipes will be gluten-free or already are gluten-free, or I'm showing you how to make gluten-free alternatives to help you clear up your skin. So by avoiding gluten products, we're going to be reducing that inflammation, which I was talking about earlier, in order to build health. If our body is highly inflamed, we will experience inflammatory-like symptoms like autoimmune disease or acne or sore joints or migraines or headaches or things that can disturb our delicate balance, our ecosystem, which is who we are, an ecosystem, just like we have an ecosystem in nature. This body, this mind, this temple is also an ecosystem. So we have to think of our bodies as gardens or ecosystem. So what you're putting in your body is going to directly reflect how you look, how you feel, how you perform, how you act, how you sleep, how you feel, how you function on a day-to-day basis. Are you grumpy every day? Are you irritable? Are you sad? Are you depressed? Are you anxious? These things can be directly connected and related by the things that you put in your body. Isn't that a fascinating realization? Isn't that something that we want to learn and discover and connect with ourselves so we can feel and look our best? So, number 1 is reduce or completely eliminate gluten and wheat out of your diet for at least 2 to 4 weeks. I would say 2 to 4 weeks just to see how your skin is acting and and reacting to lack of gluten, wheat in your diet. So what can you do if you eat a lot of gluten? Well, number 1 is you can replace gluten products that you consume with gluten-free products. So here's an example. I'm just going to close the door real quick here. Hey, I'm just recording, okay? Okay, I'll be right there. Sorry about that. That was my mom. She just came home. So what can we do to reduce gluten in our diet? So number 1 is make a list of all the gluten-free gluten products. Mom, calm down, please. Sorry about that. My mom's panicking. The dog, I think she was worried that the dog was eating the bird. So, make a list of gluten products that you consume. So what is gluten? I guess we could talk about what is gluten, but gluten and wheat products, anything that has wheat flour or wheat starch in it will have gluten. if you know that something doesn't have gluten, there will be a little gluten-free or GF or no gluten on the package or the product you're buying, which means it does not have gluten. So that's a very simple, if you don't know if something has gluten or not, check the back of the product or Google what are certain gluten products. I don't have a list because it is kind of extensive, because there are also sugars that they put in like candies, especially like Twizzlers, for example, they will have gluten in it. It will say on it, or some of the sugars in candies or certain processed foods will be a derivative of gluten. So that's a very deceptive way of getting gluten in your diet without even knowing that you're having gluten in your diet. So again, make sure that the products you're consuming are gluten-free. So yeah, so thank you for watching this video. So just remember, make a list of gluten-free products in your diet. So that way, you know, a good indication of what is gluten, just think of this acronym BROWS, which is browse. So barley, rye, oats, wheat, and spelt. So barley, rye, oats, wheat, and spelt. So again, you can like avoid these foods. I know oats, there's gluten-free oats out there, but I know I kind of react to oats, so I need to really scale back. I can have some oats, but if I eat oats too often, my body starts having allergic reactions. I actually sneeze a lot. And that's just something I've noticed from my experience. But avoiding those foods for 2 to 4 weeks is going to dramatically reduce your inflammation. And by making a list of all products that you consume that have wheat in it, you can just make little arrows. So you can make a list, write all the foods that have gluten in it. Then you can draw an arrow like this, right? And then write all the products that don't have wheat in it or alternatives to it. So for example, if I put Wonder Bread or white bread, which is loaded with wheat and chemicals, it's extremely, extremely toxic, and loaded with a lot of allergenic substances, you can put an arrow and you can write gluten-free bread. So you can go into the health food section of your grocery store or find a health food store and ask for gluten-free bread. They are more expensive, so if you eat a lot of bread, probably not a good alternative. Another good alternative though would be something like pasta. So if you're eating a lot of wheat pasta, you know, you're paying an extra 50 cents, 60 cents for a gluten-free alternative, you know. Regular, you can get cheap wheat pasta for like $1, but if it's coming at your health, then you're obviously paying more than just $1. You're paying with your life. So you want to find alternatives like gluten-free pasta, which may cost you $2 to $3. And if it's organic, that's even better because it's gluten-free and it's organic, which means that the food that it's been harvested in has been in a soil that is more full of vitamins and minerals, that is essential and vital for optimal human health and performance. So that would be a great alternative as well. So again, you can just make a list. If you eat very processed foods like sweets and bakery, it's better for you just to avoid that altogether and start eating real whole foods in general. So foods like whole chicken or broccoli or spinach, which I think is a superfood for your skin, as well as some other superfoods, which I will also mention in my book. Spinach, kale, and collards are superfoods because they're really good for cleansing out your blood, and they're loaded with vitamins and minerals, and they have dark leafy green pigments in it which help with the coloration and the blood flow of your skin. So there's a lot of benefits to eating dark leafy green vegetables because they're just so loaded with nutrients and they're very skin beneficial. Again, things like omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids, primarily omega-3s like fish or wild caught fish, salmon, cod. Cod's more of a high protein, it's not really a high fat. Sardines, you know, mussels, like a lot of fish. Again, grass-fed animals like grass-fed beef, grass-fed chicken, pasture-raised eggs, very good for you. Again, making sure that you're not eating foods that you're allergic to, which I will make another video of because it's a little bit the long video, to be honest with you, to be posting this whole thing, but definitely avoiding foods that you're allergic to would be another thing I would consider. And I'm not talking about full-blown allergies, right? Again, this is so much information that I don't have time to explain everything, but essentially you aren't allergic to a food, but if you have a sensitivity or allergy to it due to, you know, eating a highly inflammatory diet, which is going to negatively affect the health of your gut lining, there can be certain food particles that go into your blood, and essentially you build a allergy or an intolerance to, or you just become more sensitive to that food. So you may not feel good. You're not going to feel well. You're going to feel sick. So avoiding those foods at all costs is super important. And just getting tested, it's a little bit expensive. You're going to spend $200-300 on an allergy test. I would highly recommend it. But this way, it takes a lot of the guesswork out, especially if you don't know what to eat, or you can just follow my recipes again, because a lot of that will kind of skip the process. It'll go straight to, what do I eat, right? What foods should I consume? So I'm trying to create these recipes that are not only delicious, but are also nutritious, and they're full of vitamins and minerals, and that are going to help revitalize your body, repair your gut lining in your stomach, and ultimately help you, give you a nicer, healthier, glowing skin, and reduce that inflammation in the diet. Because if we do that, we reduce the inflammation in the diet, we feed the body with highly nutrient-dense foods. It's going to be pumped up with vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that are going to help clear things out. The spinach is going to clear things out. The dark leafy green vegetables, it's going to clean out the blood, clean out the processed food, clean out the sugars, the processed oils, all that garbage. And it's going to be replaced with positive stuff. It's like eliminating the negative and you put in the positive. You know, I get rid of the bad thoughts or the bad emotions or the bad energy, and I put in the good thoughts, the good food, and the good energy. So it's really replacing your cells and your body with positive stuff that's going to be good for your skin. So thanks for watching the video, guys, and I'll probably have a third-part series coming up, but this was my video on inflammation. If you have any questions, feel free to link them down below, and I'll be happy to answer them as soon as possible, as soon as I can. So thanks for watching, guys. Love you all, and have a beautiful, blessed day.